Zhuo Fan 899. The three elders sighed in disappointment as they took in the sight of Shunguan Yulin. He looked like a total wreck, as if he'd just crawled off a literal battlefield. Ganon, that fight must have been brutal. Seeing how badly he got trashed, his face is so swollen even his own mother would have trouble recognizing him. Shunguan Yulin's face darkened at the comment, and he could only manage a forced smile to mask his embarrassment. Beside him, Shunguan Fiction could only offer a bitter smirk and a helpless shake of his head. Suddenly, the three old-timers burst out laughing. Anyway, it's a good thing those are just flesh wounds, and nothing serious. He'll be back on his feet after a few days of rest. But then, their expressions shifted to dead serious. Their cloudy eyes suddenly sharpened with an intense light as they spoke calmly. Shangguan Yulin, you are the top elite of the Shangguan clan. In terms of raw strength and cultivation, no one in the younger generation can touch you. Right now, the clan has a mission high stakes, high danger, and we want to entrust it to you. If you pull it off, you'll be a legend, but if you fail, your life is on the line. Are you ready to step up and take on this responsibility? Shangguan Yulin immediately straightened his gear, cupped his hands with gravity, and vowed loudly, the clan has nurtured me for so long, I am willing to give it my all for this mission. I won't back down, even in the face of death. That's the spirit. One of the elders nodded in approval before explaining the details. You've probably heard that Flying Cloud Manor is actively scouting for alchemists, right? In the next few days, the manor is opening its doors to recruit talent in the field of alchemy. We want you to go undercover as an alchemist, infiltrate the place, and scout the terrain to prep for our second surprise attack. Shangguan Yulin was completely floored. What? You want me to pretend to be an alchemist? But my alchemy skills are. We know full well the Shangguan clan rarely produces top-tier alchemists, which is exactly why we chose you. A venerated elder sighed. Alchemy is a blend of technique, power, and cultivation. Since our techniques aren't exactly world-class, we have to use our cultivation to bridge the gap. Tannerly, the Radiant Sage corresponds to a 7th grade alchemist. Ethereal Stage is 8th grade. Soul Harmonizing is 9th grade. Reaching Genesis allows for 10th grade, and 11th grade is where the true masters are. With our current power, the three of us can only refine standard 9th grade pills, and we struggle to hit 10th grade, so we don't dare call ourselves masters yet. As for you, even though your skill hasn't reached 7th grade, and you can only make 6th grade pills, your cultivation level far exceeds your peers. In the coming days, we'll teach you some secret arts, hoping to help you temporarily reach the level of an 8th grade alchemist so you can pass the manor's test. Yulin broke into a cold sweat. Wait, I have to become an 8th grade alchemist in just a few days. I barely know the basics and can only make simple pills. I can't handle the complex stuff. He scanned for an exit strategy, his eyes darting until an idea hit him. How about letting Brother Gu go? Isn't he an alchemist too? He knew perfectly well that infiltrating the manor was a suicide mission, and a single slip-up would cost him his life. He felt it was only fair to push this risky job onto that guy. However, the old man immediately dismissed the idea and shook his head. Yulin, we considered that guy, but he's not the right fit. Alchemists at the Radiant Stage usually only reach 7th grade unless they're absolute geniuses. That young man is only at the 5th layer of the Radiant Stage. He lacks the vibe of a master. Reaching 7th grade is impressive for small empire, but it's not enough for the Sword Start Empire. Plus, he's still an outsider, so we can fully trust him yet. Matters involving the clan's survival must be handled by family to put our minds at ease. Hearing that, Shangguan Yulin closed his eyes in agony. He was out of excuses. You three old geezers, are you saying life-threatening jobs are best handled by family? Why don't you just do it yourselves then? Yulin complained inwardly, desperate to find a way out. Suddenly, Yulin puffed out his chest, acting all righteous. Venerated elders, I feel like treating Brother Gu this way is a bit unfair. We might not have trusted him before, but he risked his neck to find me, and didn't bail when things got hairy. He's proven his sincerity and deserves our trust. Uncle, don't you think I'm right? After saying that, Yulin turned to Shangguan Fiction with a pleading look. That's true. Shangguan Fiction nodded in agreement. I was actually planning to discuss this with the elders. Since Yulin said so, he had agreed to. The fact is, Yifan wasn't supervised by anyone today, yet he had no intention of betraying us or running away. Seeing how loyal he is, I suggest lifting the house arrest for the father and son and officially considering them family. Through this incident, Have you seen that the young man has a chivalrous spirit that fits perfectly with our clan style? The three elders looked at each other, thought for a moment, and then nodded. Faction, your judgment of character has always been good, so let's go with that. However, regarding scouting the manor, before the elder could finish, Yulin hurriedly cupped his hands. Venerated elders, please give Brother Gu a chance. He truly wants to contribute to our clan. Witnessing this, Shanguan Fiction felt incredibly satisfied, secretly moved by the strong brotherhood between the two. He didn't understand why they had become so close after just one trip, but he figured it was the deep bond that arises after facing death together. Yes, that had to be it. Thinking this, Faisham spoke up. Venerated elders, Dude Yefan is a 7th grade alchemist after all, which is a rare talent. Who knows, he might actually have a chance to get into the manor. I think we should let both of them participate no matter who gets in. The clan benefits. He had no idea that Shangguan Yulin actually just wanted to drag Zhuo Fan into a death trap as payback. The three elders stroked their beards, looked at each other, and decided, alright, let the outsider kid try his luck then. Shangguan Feichen happily nodded. Seeing the plan succeed, Yulin said even more enthusiastically, exactly, we must give Brother Gu a chance to show off his talent. However, since he's still an outsider, we shouldn't be careless. He can go, but someone from our side must go with him to supervise and handle things if something goes wrong. Yulin smirked inwardly. Everything was settled. He'd treated Brother Gu like family while simultaneously pushing him into the line of fire. But if Yifan works for us and we send someone to watch him closely, I'm afraid he'll feel hurt. Faisham raised an eyebrow in concern. I saw his true nature today. Although he speaks casually, his heart is in the right place. The Shangguan clan shouldn't treat a good person like a suspect. Faisham, when doing big things, don't sweat the small stuff. That's right, Uncle. Brother Gu is very easygoing. He definitely won't mind a little thing like this. The three elders and Yulin advised him together, but Faisham was still hesitant. He shook his head, saying, even so, I'm still afraid he'll get defensive and want to leave. How about letting Yanar go along under the guise of moral support, while also helping with observation? They already know each other, so Yifan definitely won't feel uncomfortable. Hearing this, Yulin was terrified, and hurriedly waved his hands. What? Hey cousin. No way, that absolutely cannot happen. However, just as he was about to object, the three elders agreed in unison. Fine, let's do that. Yanar is the perfect candidate. Faisham, you're still the most thoughtful one, so just go ahead with that plan. Exactly, we're all in agreement. All of Yulin's objections were dismissed as the other four didn't care about his opinion at all. Finally, the plan was finalized. Zhuo Fan would carry out the mission, and Shanguan Qingjian would go along to support and supervise. Shangguan Yulin stood there stunned, a look of pure shock in his eyes. He asked himself what he had just done. Had he basically just hand-delivered the girl he loved to that guy? He regretted not keeping his mouth shut. He had truly played himself. Slap. Shangguan Yulin slapped himself hard on the face, making the other four ask in surprise, hey, what's wrong with you? It's nothing. They just have a sudden toothache. What? You want me to join the alchemist recruitment to infiltrate the manor? Early the next morning, Shangguan Fiction summoned Zhuo Fan and Shangguan Qingjian to the main hall to announce the news. Zhuo Fan was slightly surprised, but after thinking it through, he gave a slight nod. In fact, he wanted to personally visit that place anyway. If he waited until the two sides started fighting to seek him, time would be tight, and the risks would be unpredictable. Having a formal chance to scout the terrain now, without being suspected or restricted by the Shangguan clan, was a golden opportunity. Zhuo Fan immediately put on an enthusiastic face, cupped his hands, and said with bright eyes, being able to contribute to the Shangguan clan to repay your kindness is an honor for my father and me. Thank you, Uncle, for trusting me with this precious opportunity.